All right. So, in anticipation of bringing our employees back into newly evolved workspaces, we are already seeing companies turn their attention to the outdoors in response to the pandemic. For example, the Aon Center Plaza just made a $6.5 million investment in outdoor buildouts. Adrienne would love to hear from you, and then Eric, get your perspective as well on this topic of how do you see the outdoors factoring into your future designs? What will make people want to engage with physical spaces?
Yeah, so I think this desire to have outdoor space is not necessarily a new one, right? Especially here in Chicago, we want to be outside as much as humanly possible for the 2.5 months that the weather allows us to do it. And we've already seen, a big investment in the city in particular, just along the riverfront over the last couple of years in these outdoor spaces. But the pandemic has done two things that I'm seeing. It's propelled our need to have these healthy spaces above everything else. And then it's also in the workplace in particular, forced us to kind of rethink this idea of what people need to be productive at work and what they're going to be looking for when they return to work. And these outdoor spaces are ticking boxes on both of those things. So they're responding to our need for a healthy workplace. We can literally sit outside and have sunshine and biophilia and fresh air. And they're also becoming a destination where we can work differently. So when I go back into the office, I don't necessarily want to sit in a cubicle in front of a computer because I can do that here. I can do that in my home. So being outside is going to draw me back into the office. Now, I do see that the function for these outdoor spaces is going to need to change and shift a little bit. It's not just going to be a lounge space with a cornhole anymore. They really have to be functional spaces. So it's going to be an extension of our office space, if you will. They need to have power and Wi-Fi, and we're looking at work height tables now, even writable surfaces. They need to be spaces that we can actually work in for longer periods of time outside.
Great, yeah, and I'm sure weather conditions, all of those aspects as well, to be taken into consideration there. Eric, from a Gensler viewpoint, right, from a design viewpoint, would love to get your thoughts there.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, because you think about the Chicago, building stock, and so much of it can't really be hacked to create outdoor. So what do you do in those cases? And there's been some great ones. We've been part of some repositioning work at Willis Tower and Old Post Office, and those we've been able to achieve great outdoor spaces, and they'll hopefully be utilized even more when we all return. But that's not the majority. The majority really is pretty contained. We're going to always have kind of building stock was built for the times, and it might not be today. So certainly the new buildings, what you're seeing going up in Fulton Market and the West Loop, and they're definitely focusing on indoor-outdoor space and stitching green space throughout the entirety of the building. But I think the purpose of green space and outdoor is really to give the occupants control and confidence that they can alter their environment. So the ability to bring outdoor in, whether it means being able to have an operable window or it means being able to control some aspect of your environment, the temperature, the flow of air, your posture. I mean, those are all elements of wellness that I think ultimately contribute to, psychological safety and comfort. And I think outdoors is the ultimate if you can achieve it. But certainly we'll have a few decades in front of us of working with our existing building stock to be able to, really see more outdoors.